Hi, my name is Alisher, and today I would like to talk about ads.com and how to create your first campaign in it. So, what is ads.com? It's one of the alternative providers that you can go with while starting out, or if you want to expand while working in search arbitrage. So specifically, what is ads.com? Well, it's a parental company of bodies, and they are slowly but surely kind of like shutting down bodies and moving everybody to ads.com. So if you're thinking about which feed provider to start off with, or again to expand into, and you're thinking about bodies, I would recommend choosing ads.com instead, as it's basically the same thing and it will all become ads.com sooner or later anyway, and bodies would shut down. All right. So if you ever worked with bodies in the past, you'll find the campaign creation process to be extremely similar to bodies. In fact, it's pretty much identical. Um, yeah, so let's go through the process of creating your first campaign in ads.com. So actually, let's go back over here. This is the dashboard, right? So the first thing you'd have to do is you press the top left corner and press domains. I already have it open over here, right? So here you'll be able have to press add domains, and unlike domain active or tonic that or system one that buys domains for you in ads.com, you would have to buy domains yourself. So for that, you would have to register and use one of the domain providers. For example, it can be godaddy.com. Yeah, you'd have to go there or to any other domain provider, find a domain that you like, rent it for a year or 2 or 5, whatever you want. Usually we do a year long rent, and after the domain is bought or essentially rented, you'll be able to add the name servers to it. You would have to add these specific name servers to your domain. If you don't know how to do that, I would recommend contacting the support from the feed provider of your choice. Sorry, the domain provider of your choosing. And yeah, so once you do that, once everything is done on the side of the domain provider, you'll be able to add your domain into ads.com. So you would just have to go here and type in the domain. For this example, I'm using a domain called urgentdentalcare.uk. After everything is done, you just simply press add domains, and you will just have to wait 20 to 40 minutes for domain to be finalized and be ready to be used in a campaign. Okay. So the next step after that is done, after you waited, or while waiting, you can actually continue the creation of the campaign. You just would not add it to your source like TikTok or Facebook until it's finalized. So you have to wait again 20 to 40 minutes after adding the domain over here. Okay. All right. So the next step would be to go to tracking tab over here, right? And the first thing that will pop up would be the URL builder. Once again, if you've ever worked with bodies, this whole interface would be very similar and familiar to you. But if you didn't, let's go through the whole thing. Okay, so the first thing you would have to do is you would have to input the domain. Let's take it for example, it's urgentdentalcare.uk. Pick a traffic source. It doesn't really matter which traffic source you pick. If just like us, you're using a tracker. If you are using ads.com directly with your source and not using any tracker, then it would be important which traffic source that you choose. But for the sake of our example and how we do things, it doesn't really matter. So pick whatever you want, let's say TikTok, and then you would have to put the check mark over here into dynamic terms. And let me hide myself for a little bit so you can see it better. Here you have this dynamic terms field, right? So over here, you'll be able to add the terms that you would like to show up on your landing page, right? So for example, I can type in dental implants, right? Press like enter, and as you can see, it will be added over here. And as you can see, if you just put the space between the keywords like this, it will make a link that would have space bars in it, so like the empty spaces in it, which is not allowed. So what you have to do while inputting your dynamic terms, you would have to type in the percent 20 instead of space, instead of space between words. So dental percent 20 implants. That would be the correct way to put into your keywords. So let's try something like urgent. Sorry, urgent 20% percent 20 dental percent 20 care. Okay, and you have to press enter. All right. So as you can see, these terms automatically added over here. So before we copy this link or do anything with it, we would have to go back to the tracker. Let me show myself up again. So we go to click flare, or again, tracker of your choosing. We go to offers tab, then press new, right? And yeah, so over here, you'll have to name your offer like usual, name, vertical that you're targeting, geo that you're targeting, traffic source that you are going to be targeting as well, and the feed provider of your choice, which in this case would be ads.com, right? Or it can be just ads, it doesn't really matter. So then you would have to select ads.com over here. If you don't have it in the list, you'll have to set it up manually. If you don't know how to do that, you will have to contact the support from Cloudflare, okay? So you click on ads.com, then you would have to go ahead and go back to the URL builder and copy the beginning of your domain, everything before the question mark. Copy that part, right? And then input it over here, okay? So then you would have to select a URL based on the traffic source that you're interested in. Let's say TikTok, for example, right? And here at the end, you will have to add the terms part that we did. So you have to copy everything and terms, and then all of your terms, copy that part, and then add it at the end of your offer link like this, okay? So, and the last part that you would have to do, if you are working with TikTok or Facebook, you would have to replace the ad title over here. In this case would be, usually we type in the name of the vertical that we're targeting. So let's say it would be dental underscore implants. Okay, and that is basically it. You save your URL and then proceed to the campaign creation in Cloudflare like usual. So hopefully that answered kind of like your questions on how to work with ads.com. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask them in the comments. I will answer to them to the best of my ability. And yeah, that would be all from me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.